spiritually grafted, cool like chef goes to Africa, silently seductive like scented candles from Indonesia, romantic like Solomon's songs, and sexy like turn out the lights, light a candle, or maybe put up your thumb. Spoken word piece. This piece is presented in the eyes of the honorees today, so I'm going to speak it as if I was them. Y'all ready? All right, let go. As I entered the church that day, I surveilled the people trying to ascertain who was who. After I completed my survey, there she was, and I thought this simple thought. Cute girl. Not realizing that every day of my life had been the providential divinity orchestrated by the hand of God to lead me to this exact place at this exact time to think this simple but exact thought. Cute girl. Not knowing, desiring, or even expecting for this cute girl to be that girl that I would eventually see as the girl that God had sent as a heavenly being, transferred, figured into a figure that I would want to figure out. That cute girl with the soft silhouette, with the silken walk, with baby doll eyes that twinkle when she smiles, and sun-kissed skin tanned to a cocoa brown perfection. Physical attributes that I would eventually want all men to see, but you better not look too long, so. That cute girl that I would one day place upon my own mountain of transfiguration, and I would find myself with an inner turmoil, conflicted with the tribune of self, as if I was arguing with my own ego and superego, as to who would sit at her left hand. I saw her first initiated it, and the two of you don't deserve a specimen so fine. Why, you wouldn't know what to do with her in the first place, so I shall have her now. Now let's not get carried away, interrupted ego. Remember what happened the last time you became self-absorbed? How about you have her on Monday and Tuesday, you on Wednesday and Thursday, and I, of course, shall have her on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Gentlemen, we mustn't argue, presented superego. How about all three of us ravish her every day of the week for the rest of her life, pleasing her to the brink of frenzy, knocking at the door of lunacy, climactically driving her to blissful insanity in a streetcar first named Desire and last named Ecstasy. And just when she thinks that we've reached the peak of finality, let's do it again, and again, and again, and again. Man, would you compose yourself? After all, we are in church. Now straighten out your tie and tuck in your shirt. Shh, here she comes, here she comes. Donald, this is Linda. Linda, this is Donald. Oh my. A black man with absolutely no facial hair, she comes. Little did I know that it was fate that brought us in here. This smooth-faced black man who would one day leave me speechless, paid me very little attention, nor made any effort to get into my space, so I went on about my business because a man I will not chase. Sometime later, out of the blue, he asked me out on a lunch date. And to him, it was simply that, a day that I just happened to be passing by him in the lobby as he was going to lunch. Not knowing that it would be 5 months later before I would ever get a phone call. The gall of him I did not think, because a man I refused to chase. But at the end of that 5 months, I saw nothing wrong with casting just a tad bit of bait. So in a playful country twang, not knowing that this phone call would one day lead to this man marrying me, on his voicemail a message I left: I have a hankering for your company. I could tell over the phone that I made this dark-skinned brother blush. I could imagine that blood rushed from every part of his anatomy, congregated in his face, and if speech was a color, the preceding articulation would be painted in crimson red. As he said, I'll pick you up around 8, and so it was our first official date. Home-cooked Chinese. Reservations I had also done my homework. I had papers on him, and my investigatory inquiries came back affirmatively, and so I was safe. And so so it was, the courtship of Linda and Donald begins, consisting of monopolizing his time just so another woman could not get a thought in edgewise in his mind, as she designed a plan for which there would be no escape. It was like his name was indeed Pinky, and she had become the brain. Time marches on, courtship turns to prayer, prayer turns to communion, communion to union, and that union to familiar knowings. Cool he was, but desires exponentially increased to longings, and his very essence of his entire being longed to be next to her. He talked with her about everything from favorite colors of fuchsia and turquoise to oceans of violet and blue, to picking out names of our new additions that turned out to be four, even before he knew her in the biblical sense. And since we're talking about knowing, she imagined his black face glowing in blackened nights, in honeymoon suites, sweet moon moaning, moon glows, no clothes, eyes open or eyes closed, sweat dripping, dripping sweat as he met you at the apex of ecstasy, and he had each other reaching for items of invisibility. As you sealed your fate of reality for the next 25 years. Reminiscing about the beginning, and in the beginning was the vows, and the vows were the beginning of a marriage that will be blessed by the Almighty Himself, even down to the sequential order and number of your seed, for being representative of the Almighty's creative work of a materialistic universe, as He reflects God's perfect harmony and transferring out a holy matrimony. All evidence of materialism can be seen in quarters. 4 is the number of the great elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. 4 are the regions of earth: north, east, south, and west. 4 are the divisions of the day: morning, noon, evening, and night. 4 are the seasons of a year: winter, spring, summer, and fall. 4 are the great variations of the lunar phases: new moon, full moon, first and third quarter moon. So the materialistic perfection of God's harmony, as represented by Chelsea, Lauren, Wilson, Wesley, and Great Gabriel, is a biological, emotional, and visual reminder of God's perfect balance affixed to your union in its future. A quarter of a century of God's preface, as it pertains to your marriage, reads thus: I am the Lord your God, and this marriage has been ordained by me. You and 4 other couples vowed to stick it out come hell or hot water, and because you were smarter than a 5th grader, realizing the benefits of a God that honors marriage, you remained faithful to one another. So I shall be faithful unto you, and I will bless you for another 25 years. As you are on the verge of becoming empty nesters, I will enhance the romance, increase the finance, illuminate those areas that may have been shadowed by darkness, and you will be blessed for your life. And you will recite blessings over her, because I will continually and perpetually reveal myself through her. She will caress you and bless you, because I will divinely anoint you with continued kingship. You will bathe in the radiance of the sun, and from your pores will pour out emotionally subtle lyrics of poetry. And at the thought of her, the rhythmical chest drums that mimic the syncopated percussion of love songs, as she lays her right ear upon your chest, will be magnified and intensified as she finds herself in a safe place to hide in your arms. Your arms I will strengthen with the strength of Samson. I will remove any remaining scales from your eyes, and you will see clearly the peace in each other's eyes. You will be pleased at the peace that has been incarcerated in the confines of your unity. Even when you argue and walk out of doors, as she stands in behind you, you will come home to burnt jambalaya that she will poison with love, as she greets you with kisses of smooth lips, as you pull her closely with the manly grip, reintroducing the necessary stimuli that causes certain seductive movements between your hips. And between passionate kisses, you will ask, what were we arguing about? And he will respond, I think it was cable, as you back that thing up towards the kitchen table. And at that age, you won't have to worry about going half on a baby, or even if anyone else is home, because after all, you're not empty nesters. It gives a whole new meaning to Thanksgiving dinner, children. Her face will be a face of purity, and his one of security. Assuredly, the image of your lioness will glow from the partaking of living waters. Your cup shall surely run over. You will rest in peace, retire on a beach, Together you will grow old and weary, and sweet potatoes and collard greens, pecan trees, and new memories with your grandchildren, and backyard gardens with your lioness. You will be elevated in age and find it not robbery to still play childish phone games when the two of you are away like, no, you hang up first. Though you may still get upset at Macy's because you're still going to have to carry a purse. But she will still serve you and press your leisure shirts as you pick out her skirts. Each day you will continue to discover new births along this amazing journey where each day brings a new set of joys and adventures. This journey that is like a mirror reflecting our strength and weaknesses and flaws and attributes that will present opportunities to forgive and to ask for forgiveness. This journey that is a physical opportunity to demonstrate what love is. And this journey, just when you think you got it figured out, I will manifest it differently, yet beautifully, just so it can continue to be called love's amazing journey. God bless you.